We don't control the winds, Epictetus says, but we do control the sails. We can choose how we respond to what happens to us. That's right. The obstacle is the path, my friend. What looks like an obstacle may very well be the path to where you need to go. You know, in ancient times there was a legend of a great king who went out one night with his chariot, and he was driving around and he saw a strange light in the distance. So he turned his chariot around and he went toward the light. As he got closer, he realized it was a lighthouse, and the light was guiding ships safely into the harbor. And the king had an experience that night that changed his life. He realized that just as this lighthouse beamed its light into the darkness of night, guiding ships safely into the harbor, so too should he try to be a light to others, guiding them out of the darkness of confusion and into the harbor of wisdom. That's what the wise do, Epicurus says. They try to be a lighthouse to other people. But how can we do that? How can we be a lighthouse for other people? Well, it starts with being one for ourselves. You have to be a lighthouse for yourself first before you can be a lighthouse for others. So how do you do that? Well, Marcus Aurelius talks about this idea of negative visualization. He says that just as we rehearse and practice in our minds the things that we're going to say and do during the day, so too should we rehearse and practice in our minds the ideas that we want to think about. So when we get depressed or anxious or start to worry, we should say to ourselves, no, this is not helpful. Don't think this way. Think the right thoughts. Visualize the right images. It's like those public service announcements on TV that say if you see something, say something, right? That's what we need to do with our minds. If we see a negative thought, say something, say, hey, this is not helpful. Don't believe this. Believe this instead. And then you repeat that over and over again until it sinks in. And eventually you become that lighthouse for yourself. But why is that important? Why do we need to be a lighthouse for ourselves or for other people? Because the world needs more light, Epicurus says. It needs more people who are beacons of wisdom in a sea of darkness. The world is full of people who are confused and lost and don't know what to do with their lives. And we have the opportunity to be a light to them, to show them the way. How do we do that? Well, by being the lighthouse that we need to be, by having wisdom in our own lives and by sharing that wisdom with others, by teaching others what we've learned and helping them to see the light. That's how we do it. But how do we know what to teach them? Well, that's easy. Just teach them what you're learning each day. Share the ideas that you're exploring and the insights that you're having. That's what Stoicism is all about, right? It's about learning and growing and becoming better. And that's something we can all do together. So let's all be beacons of light, my friends. Beacons of wisdom in a sea of darkness. Let's be lighthouses for other people, guiding them safely into the harbor of wisdom. So what will you do today to be a lighthouse for someone else? What small act of kindness or wisdom will you share with someone else, my friends? Let's all be beacons of light in a sea of darkness. Let's be lighthouses for other people. Until next time, thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing, my friends, more.